Day 2.
Day 2.
I'm exhausted.
It's been a long day.
It was a very productive day.
It is
10:15.
10:15. We just got home.
Literally just walked in the door and finished kind of putting things away, though it's kind of a mess. It's not like a crazy mess or anything, but just a lot of stuff. We've got stuff going on everywhere right now. We started the day, we met with Krista, who's our wedding officiant, at the courthouse, but only after we went to the wrong courthouse, and the employee of that building that we went to gave us a map. Apparently there's like 7 buildings for court.
All called the courthouse.
In a town of like 1,000 people. So, whatever. But anyway, we went to the wrong building. We went to the 3rd floor, and the lady told us, oh, no. You're in the wrong building. You need to get back on the highway and go to, and she, points it all out on the map. So we're like, wow, we must be really off, and like anxiety level 10, because now we're running late, and we are not late people, and we have a full day of things that are kind of packed in there, and this was just the first thing. We walked outside to head towards the car to get back on the highway,
which actually meant
crossing a one-way street, like
1-lane street.
1-lane street and a pedestrian walkway.
That was getting back on the highway.
Back on
it was
the highway.
Literally across the street.
Whatever. So crisis averted. We weren't that late. I was nervous due to some prior interactions that our officiant might be different. She was really nice, and
I figured they were going to be a hippie.
I thought so for sure. No, she was really super nice and normal. I think she's just maybe not trying to be up with technology, which is fine. Like when all the correspondence that we've had with her so far was like actual correspondence through the mail. Like she sent us a lot of handwritten ceremony materials to review and things.
A lot of like literal cut and paste and then photocopy.
Like actual cut it and paste it and then send it.
Mimeograph.
Yeah. So, when she got there, when she was sending us some texts this morning, and we were like, this lady is going to be strange. And we got there and figured out why her texts are so weird. Is because she has a flip phone, but not just any flip phone, like a really old flip phone. Like, for real, she was doing some T9 on this thing, for sure.
Yeah.
But she was so sweet. Sweet as pie. I really like her, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah, she was nice.
Yeah. I can't think of anything else crazy that happened. Well, nothing crazy happened, but any other details of that interaction?
No, I mean, we didn't really understand it. Like, we were told one thing by the court clerk and one thing by the officiant.
About getting extra copies of our license, which we know we'll obviously have to get for, changing things over. So we'll get that figured out. Whatever. We left there and walked up the road to a coffee shop. Let's talk about how many coffee shops they have here.
Lots of
Like
coffee.
a lot. Like every block has like 5 coffee shops on it, or drive-through espresso. Like coffee's a big deal here.
Like, rewind 10 years ago, and as many of those Hawaiian-shaped ice and snow cone places that you see around our area, if you replaced every single one of those with a drive-through coffee shop, the same size.
They're like little huts.
Little hut.
Like a coffee hut. It's cute.
It would be the same thing. There's no snow cones. I haven't seen any snow cones here.
No, I don't think they're probably into that.
No.
No. So anyway, we went down to this coffee shop, which was not a coffee hut. It was an actual coffee shop. And that's where we met Kate, our wedding planner, and
Really good coffee.
Really good coffee.
Coulter coffee if you're in Kalispell.
Get it. Talked with her for a while and just finalized some details and went over some things and chatted for a bit. And then we came back here and got changed and decided we were gonna go scope out our ceremony location because it's not like marked on a map anywhere. It's called Ryan's Meadow, which I thought was probably some kind of historic. We did get a map from Krista, the wedding officiant. I don't know if you'll be able to pick this up on camera. Yep. So this is the kind of thing we've been working with. We also got a map for some of her favorite hiking places for the rest of the week. Go ahead and show them the other map, John.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. Yep. That's it.
So
we decided we were gonna go just check it out so that we weren't freaking out and getting lost in a park with no cell phone service tomorrow. And like I said, we thought that the place is called Ryan's Meadow. It's on the shore of Lake McDonald. It's absolutely beautiful, like gorgeous, like a postcard. But I thought that when we chose this place, that was like a thing. Like there'd be like signs, like people know, like Ryan's Meadow.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
And when people say parking area, that there would be an obvious parking area.
It's not. Ryan's Meadow is someone named Ryan's driveway in like backyard that just leads up to the lake. So, yeah, I mean, you're essentially like in someone's yard almost.
At one point, the trees are widened out enough or not grown close enough to the road, which it's very tight there.
Yeah.
It's very foresty, that it widens out enough to maybe parallel park 3 cars or one of our Suburban.
Yeah. So I'm not really sure how the parking situation is gonna work out. Pretty glad that we don't have like 10 people and one of the cars with us, because when people in Montana say parking lot, what we think is a parking lot, like a
gravel or chatted area,
yeah,
rectangular in shape.
Maybe spaces marked out, maybe not, probably flat-ish. Here, they just mean an area large enough without trees
that a 4x4 vehicle could drive on.
Could fit on it. That means a parking area. So we parked in the parking area and then walked on out to...
Which was nice. The trail was like a little tree cave.
It was. They call it the tree aisle. So when you're getting married there, you can walk out of the tree aisle, which we'll walk down together tomorrow.
But very dense cedar grove.
I mean, and honestly, we're walking down it together tomorrow just because there's not, like, that's the only way that you get there. That's just, it's not like an actual significant aisle. Like, we're not gonna make like a processional down it. But it is very lovely. It's beautiful. I'm glad that we picked that spot. So we went and saw that and took some photos, and then we decided we were gonna drive going to the Sun Road to Logan's Pass and just do some truck hiking, basically. We did take our hiking gear, backpacks with our little hydration bladders.
And by the time we even got in there and had our lunch, so we didn't even start off the day till like 3.
Yeah, it was late. So we start driving up and we stopped several times to take some photos and kind of admire the scenery. It's breathtaking, absolutely beautiful. There aren't words to describe it, and pictures don't.
So many stops.
A lot of stopping.
So many photos. We
may or may not have, but definitely did in the last 2 days take 700 photos. And that is not an exaggeration. I'm sorry, friends and family who are going to sit through our 700 photo slideshow. But when I say 700, I mean it's only been 2 days and this is a 14-day trip. The Japanese tourists were making fun of how many photos we were taking. And I don't care. I'm not ashamed. It's beautiful. So anyway, we drive up to Logan's Pass. Nothing significant happened on the way there.
Just tight road and very place. Like the one side of the 2-lane road is up against a cliff, and the cliff is cantilevered out over the road, and so like they can't hug the cliff, and you have a stubby rock wall, maybe 1.5 feet tall,
Maybe 2 feet.
made out of rubble,
Yeah.
and it's been cemented together. But
Several areas where that section is taken out and like concrete barricades are put in the width of a car because clearly someone has like
gone off. But several 100 feet of cliff.
Straight drop.
Straight down.
Down drop. So I think part of our exhaustion right now can be attributed to the hour and a half of like
white knuckling.
Tension. Yes, it was kind of stressful. It was a beautiful drive, much like Rocky Mountain National Park. Like when we did the drive up to Pikes Peak, totally worth it. Mm-hmm. Would do it again. I'm sure we will be going in those areas or on that road again, but yeah, it was kind of stressful. It was a little stressful. John did great. I can't drive it. If I drove that even in like a tiny car, we would be sleeping in that car right now because I would have refused to come back down. But especially in the school bus that we're driving, there's no way. I was just a passenger and I tried very hard not to like gasp and be that person, but it's impossible. It's hard. Anyway.
So then we get up to Logan's Pass. We had heard people previously complain about the smell of some people.
Well, and we spoke about this a little bit yesterday.
But those people clearly were not hikers yesterday.
It's a different issue. Today, the stinky people that we encountered, like they earned their stink, I think. Yeah. Like they were hiking and it was warm out and also they are dirty, filthy hippies and probably don't believe in deodorant or shampoo.
Definitely a multinational, multicultural park. A lot of non-English speaking Scandinavian,
languages I can't
Eastern
even identify.
European,
I just have no idea.
Spanish,
different
South American, a lot of different people, Japanese, Chinese, people clearly that have used this as their destination for their vacations from across the world. So that was
interesting, yeah. So when we got to the visitor center, we pulled the parking lot of Logan's Pass, and that's where the visitor center is. And so when we walk in, you were just kind of like greeted with this wall of hate and also BO. Like, there's no electricity up there. It's at the top of a mountain, basically.
Yeah.
So they're not cooling it. There's not airflow throughout there. We're not opening windows in a place like this. So it was like baking butthole that's not been washed in a long time. It's nasty. But we made it through. We got a couple of t-shirts, got a Christmas ornament, got a cute little picture mat to put in a frame for maybe one of our wedding pictures. So that was good. And then when we walked out of the visitor center is when we were like, oh look, it's a trail. It's only 1.5 miles. Oh, it's Hidden Lake Trail. It's so beautiful. I've heard about this, and it's been on all the little Facebook groups that we've been following. And it was really beautiful. It was a nice hike.
A very nice trail. I mean, definitely non-rugged.
No.
There are some places that, it was
rugged.
Not like a park.
Yeah, but not.
Yeah, definitely not rugged at all.
Right.
It was boardwalk and actual stairs and real nice.
But yeah, right off the get-go, it's kind of just, you're just straight up. Like, obviously we're in mountains. The Cahokia Mountains didn't have crap on this. Like, I mean, this was like straight up. And while we didn't really feel it in our bodies,
our muscles, no.
No, I could have done that several times. It was a little burning in the lungs. Yep. You could definitely feel that the altitude was different once you got yourself moving.
So we were at 6,600 feet there?
When you started, we went up to 7,200 on that trail at the top point. And it wasn't, crazy like, lightheaded like you are at the top of Pikes Peak or something, but when you get yourself moving and kind of get that heart rate going because you're going up, like, you feel the difference and a lung full of air here versus a lung full of air at home. I feel like this must be what people with asthma feel like
Yeah.
when I was going up. So it was beautiful. It was worth it. I would definitely do it again, and I'm really excited to start the like straight up hiking part of our trip too. Eventful things on the trail. A lot of multicultural people, including Japanese family that I mentioned earlier that may or may not have been making fun of the amount of pictures we took. They had a small child with them. I'm gonna say
9, 8.
I was gonna say 7 to 9. So yeah, right in there. And there was another group of people sitting up on a rock. I think they were feeding a marmot, and they were not supposed to, but I think she was giving it nuts. And the little boy, question mark? The child came running up, pointing at the animal to show mom, and mom kind of comes running after. And this kid got,
Went to dive for it.
was like diving in to pet it. Like, I think thought that it was like a puppy, like ready to go. And I just, in slow motion, we were like, no! Like, I'm just imagining its little mini marmot beaver teeth just like planting in this kid. It was crazy. It was really scary. He didn't get bit. Spoiler alert, the kid doesn't get bit, but it freaked me out a little bit.
We did get to see on the way back from the overlook after seeing the hidden lake, which was beautiful.
Gorgeous.
And looking out through the valley where the hidden lake goes on and turns into a stream and drains down through a valley going the other way, off the Continental Divide.
Waterfalls.
Just 10 mountains you could see, layered
As far
in
as
the
you can
backdrop.
see.
Yeah. Absolutely beautiful. And then on the way back from that overlook, then about a quarter of the way or so, we we're getting back up to the peak and getting ready to go back down in elevation. There was 2 mountain goats.
It was a baby, and we had a discussion afterwards that I don't know if it was a baby and a mommy or a baby and a daddy, because the big one had horns. It wasn't like a big horn sheep. It was a goat, but I don't know if
I didn't see anything else indicative of it being a male.
Yeah, and I can't imagine that the daddy goat took the baby goat out for lunch. I don't know.
It did have
Doesn't seem fun.
a collar or a GPS tracker, so it's one of the wildlife that's tracked by the park.
So we thought that was going to be our biggest wildlife encounter of the day, besides our friend almost getting bitten by the marmot. Until we got down to the parking lot, and at first, on the other side of the road, right by where we were parked, I said, "Oh, John, hurry, look," because there's a bighorn sheep starts running down
Two
the
of them.
side. Yeah, after each other.
Probably 70, 80 yards away.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So he didn't get over quick enough that we could get a picture. We just kind of got to see its butt, But then we turn around and we start walking back. We're now just at the end of the car. So we turn around and walk back to the front of the car.
Which is like 20, 30 steps.
Yeah, because it's a bus. And so once we get to the door, I think John is like looking on the camera to see if he got a picture of that sheep that we thought was whatever, or I'm not real sure. But when I looked up, there are 2 massive, humongous bighorn sheep, 30 feet.
If that.
Yeah,
like we were backed into a parking space, and then there was the distance between us and the next parking space across the aisle from us.
And that's where
they were there.
In the next parking space across from the driving aisle from us. And I said, I was really proud of myself for not yelling. I was like, unlock the car, unlock the car, unlock the car. So he unlocks the car, and I open the door and I said, now get in the car, look up, open your eyes and look up. And he looks up, and it was like, oh my God. And then we got a couple pictures behind the safety-ish of a door before I really kind of freaked out. I was like, get in the car. But we did get some good cell phone pictures. People are so stupid. Like, they were pulling up in the parking space, like on either side next to these things, trying to take pictures. And you could tell they were kind of getting spooked, like doing the thing where they just pick up one foot. They're kind of looking around like, I need to jet.
Or they have these big horns, like
I need to
just bash
ram
a door
into
in.
you.
Yeah.
It was. I see how people get tossed around by animals in the park because they're so stupid. Like it's not a zoo, whatever.
Yeah.
So
Go
anyway,
pet a buffalo.
yeah. So directly behind them, then you ended up seeing this whole giant herd of these sheep that people are also way too close to, trying to take photos. And
Probably 12, 13 in there.
yeah, huge, like babies, big ones, everything. And so then a ranger came out with something,
Looked like
shaking
I don't know,
something.
was that like a didgeridoo or something? Like something on a rope she was swinging around in a
Yeah,
circle.
I
It
didn't
made
hear
a
it,
noise.
but I'm assuming it was making some kind of noise because they all like head up and ran. I mean, they were out of there. So that was thrilling. And then we drove back down the mountain.
Yep. Getting a little bit hangry.
Got a little hangry. And then stopped for pizza.
Stopped for pizza at, I don't know, what's the name of the place? Something grill.
Glacier Grill and Pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good pizza.
Good pizza.
I wouldn't even say decent. I would say not even marginal.
No,
Poor service.
Not good service. The little girl was, and I say little girl I'm allowed to because she was probably like 19 years old. And she was nice. And we were there like 45 minutes before they closed. But
We may have high expectations, or we just really enjoy good iced tea.
they don't have it here. All the tea here is like,
The weakest thing,
Water.
you can't taste tea.
like tea bags must be expensive. I don't know if they're reusing them several times or if like as soon as the tea starts to turn brown, they're like, whoop, burnt it. I don't know. But it is like you almost don't want to, we don't drink sweet tea anymore. We drink regular tea and just put like a little sweetener or whatever, something in it. Almost to the point where you don't want to put a Splenda in it because you're going to be drinking like hummingbird juice afterwards. Like there's not like tea flavor going on.
Yeah,
So
I'm
it's
glad we bought Sweet and Low for here at the cabin,
yeah.
because nowhere,
And a jug of tea, like
Yeah.
normal tea. We're tea drinkers.
no one has sweetener either.
No.
Everyone's got sugar packets out,
Yeah.
but that's it.
They're on the up and up here. They're like, that's bad for you. But we're like, we can't eat all the sugar, so. Yeah. I mean, all in all, I'm not going to say that I miss anything from home as of right now because it's day 2. But if I did, it would be tea.
Bed was comfortable
The
here.
bed is comfortable. Very
We did sleep
comfortable.
good last night.
It doesn't get dark until like after 10, and then it starts getting really light at like 4.
We did try last night also to do some night photography, unsuccessfully.
Yeah, we need to YouTube it.
Yeah, I don't know what settings to use.
We made some improvements in some areas, and then we kind of go back a little bit. Also, it's pitch black outside, and we're trying to figure out how to change certain settings and also what those settings even mean, and also there might have been wine involved.
Well,
I'm not
maybe.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying
They make their wine stronger here too.
something like that. Yeah. So, yeah, all in all, really good day 2.
Yeah, I think so.
So, what's on the slot for day 3?
Well, day 3 is pretty much going to be hanging out here while you do your hair 15 different ways
Why? Would I do that?
for the wedding.
Oh, we're getting married tomorrow! I'm excited. Are you excited?
I am excited.
I'm excited. So yeah, tomorrow we may eat breakfast. We might go look at a lake, but I'm gonna be in that bathroom starting at 12 p.m. and having a mental breakdown. There's a bug. It's a dragonfly. Anyway, I'm gonna start curling my hair and pinning it and probably crying and whatever. It's a whole long thing. We'll talk about that tomorrow, maybe. We might do that Wednesday. I don't know. We'll see. But we don't really have anything else on
I
today.
think that's it for today.
So I guess we'll see you maybe tomorrow when we get married.